In today's video, we're going to be covering the Elon Musk tank, also known as the IS-3 Defender, and letting you know if it is worth it to pick up in the shop right now. Let's jump right into the video. Now, the IS-3 is a extremely old tank and is definitely the definition you want to use, or it's the perfect example to use of the word power creep. This tank used to be, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, when this tank first came out, it was broken. Hands down, no one could even say anything, this tank was extremely broken. But ever since tanks like the T-54A2 Shark at tier 8, OBJ-752 at tier 9, and all these other new tanks getting released, really just do make the IS-3 bad. It's just in general, the IS-3 Defender is terrible. But is it still, can you still play the IS-3 Defender? Well, that's what we're going to cover, but let's just jump into the statistics about the IS-3 Defender. So, what's it have going for it? It is the autoloader with a 400 alpha gun, and yes, you heard that correctly, an autoloader with a 400 alpha gun. That is quite insane, to say the least. So, with 400 times 3, you do at least 1,200 damage in your whole clip, which is absolutely lethal at tier 8. But let's not forget that it has a terrible accuracy, as you'll see here. The dispersion on this gun is absolutely terrible, and it says here 0.386, which is not the best, and its aiming time at 5.9. And once you play this tank, it's so painful. Trying to hit your shots in this tank is absolutely painful. So yeah, the gun is not the best, but it can work, but it's just not the most accurate. Now the armor, we can jump into it now. I'm not going to go into the blitz stats because I want to make this video as accurate and short as possible. But the armor profile, it's the whole armor. You have no whole armor, okay? Yes, it's trolly. It is kind of trolly, but if you go against tanks like tier 8 heavy tanks or tier 9s, then it'll easily cut through your armor. Your armor is nothing to, nothing too good apart from the turret armor. The turret armor is the only good thing about this tank. And the mobility is also not the best. It says you go at 40 miles per hour, but because of that power to weight ratio, you actually do not go to 40 miles per hour. So yeah, you are a slow, no armor tank, which does mean you require skill, and it's definitely lost a lot of its power it used to have. So let's just compare this IS-3 Defender to the rest of the Defenders, and then we'll just jump into the replay. Now comparing the IS-3 to the rest of the tanks in its series, you'll notice that the IS-3 is definitely the weakest link. As you'll see here, it has the worst DPM, it does have the baddest of penetration. I mean, the AMX Defender is a light tank, so for it to have a 205mm for its AP penetration isn't bad at all. So out of the heavy tanks, the IS-3 Defender does not have the best of guns at all. And it's still the same with the weapon handling. It's got one of the worst weapon handling in the whole entire tier. And it's still very, very slow as well. So, as you'll see here, the IS-3 Defender, it really does not have anything at all. And it is definitely a waste of money. But, it can be a fun tank now and then. But if you want a tank like that, like the IS-3 Defender, just go for the T-28 Defender. It's a much better tank, it's more competitive, and it's definitely can be more fun. But now, all that said, let's just jump into the main part of the video. Ghost Factory, we are playing on the map, and there's a couple things I want to say about the IS-3 really quick that I hope that Wargaming could actually fix about this. Now, the main issue I find with the IS-3 is its DPM. As we saw, it has 1,800 DPM, or 1,000 up to 1,900 maximally, which is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Even tier 7 heavy tanks have more DPM than this tank, and plus they have a lot more effective armor. And it's really annoying because it's an IS-3. It's an IS-3, and the IS-3 is supposed to have armor. It's not supposed to have DPM, but at least give it more DPM than it has. I mean, 1900 DPM is poor for tier 8, absolutely poor. Now, unfortunately for me, this mill is just going to block me all game. Well, he's not going to really block me all game, but he is just going to really annoy me. But, yeah, I mean, an IS-3 has armor. In real life, it had a lot of armor. It definitely had more armor than the Tiger II. So, for the fact that this tank has terrible armor, the same goes with the IS-3, is just really shaming. They should definitely give the IS-3 and the IS-3 Defender more armor, because it could be a balancing issue. Maybe they just want to keep the game balanced, and if it's IS-3 rolling around with a stupid armor profile would probably make it overpowered. But at the end of the day, we just can't deal with these sort of tanks anymore. Just look how bad it is compared to the others. It's just so much bad, and you can't compare this tank to any of the Defender series like Defender Mark 1, because this one would absolutely suck against them. And that's the issue with the IS-3. I mean, look at here, this game we're not going to be doing too much damage. I mean, like, we're going to get like 1.5k and that's it. And we're only going to get like 2 kills or anything like that, so you're not going to get any kills, no, you're not going to get any damage in this tank at all. You're not going to get much damage. The only thing you're going to get is kills, and that's it. You're not going to get anything apart from that. But as you'll see here, 1.6k damage already. Now we're just going to have to kill this Smasher, which is dislocated all the way back of the map. God knows what he was doing. Maybe it could have been a connection issue, but one thing's for sure, that GCR is not happy at all. So we're just going to push the Smasher now, reloading that clip, which is also very terrible. It takes almost 20 or more seconds to reload the entire clip, which is absolutely poor. I know it does 400 alpha per shot, but still, for that amount of reload, it's not the best. It is absolutely not the best. But as you'll see there, the accuracy is very bad as well. And that's another thing about the IS-3 Defender. It just really does need a buff. It is absolutely terrible. It's more of a gimmick than it is anything else. I wouldn't see anyone buying this tank because they think it's good. No, it's more of a gimmick. It's more for the kids when they see this tank. Oh my god, look how cool this tank looks. It looks so badass, I must get it. But it's not the case. It's absolutely it's the worst tank in tier 8, and it's actually it can be beat by some tanks in tier 7. It's that bad. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Don't buy the IS-3 Defender, guys. It is a waste of money, and it's more of a gimmick. If you really want a Defender tank, go for the Defender Mark 1 or the T28 Defender, because they are a lot more competitive than this tank right here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I apologize for not uploading much. It's because I have been at school and I have been pretty tired and I have not had the energy to make videos or even do streams. So I do apologize for that, guys. Hopefully you all have enjoyed today's video. If that's the case, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.